Number 18, factor 64x cubed minus 27. Well, if we copy this problem down, the first thing we notice is a number like 64 and 27. These are very special numbers, okay? They are cubes. This is really the difference of two cubes. You say, what do you mean by a cube? Well, if you do 1 times 1 times 1, you have 1, right? What's 2 times 2 times 2? 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is what? 8. So 2 cubed is 8. 3 times 3 times 3, 3 times 3 is 9, times 3, 9 times 3 is 27, so 3 cubed is 27. Alright, and that's one of our numbers, isn't it? So when you think of 27, think of the number 3, okay? What would 4 cubed be? 4 times 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16, and 16 times 4 is 64. Well, there's another one of those numbers, isn't it? So when you think of 64, think of 4, okay? What's the next one? 5 times 5 times 5? 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5. Hey, if you have 5 quarters, how much money you have? 4 quarters is $1. 5 quarters is what? $1.25? Okay, anyway, 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5, 5 quarters, 125. So you've got these pretty well down, pretty well. 6 times 6 times 6, you probably haven't thought of this one too much. But 6 times 6 is 36. 36 times 6 is 216. Okay, so you would look for numbers like 64 or 125 or 216. What would 7 times 7 times 7 be? 7 times 7 is 49. 49 times 7, if you write it out, it's 343. Okay? So if you see 343, think of the number 7. 8 times 8 times 8. 8 times 8 is 64. 64 times 8, 512. 9 times 9 times 9, I didn't write it down here, but that's going to be 729. Anyway, when you think of 64, think of 4. Okay? All right? So the very first, if you just wanted to have anything you wanted to, what would you write for this? You write a 4x, wouldn't you? Huh? In place of 27, what would you think? What did I tell you to think? 3, right? Now, if you could write any sign you would like to here, you'd probably like, if you were to factor this and you're trying to memorize the form, you'd write a 4 here, you'd write a 3 here, and let's just keep the sign, right? Just don't change the sign on me, right? Huh? Leave the sign negative, because that's what we had originally. Put the 3, okay? So if you were just if somebody were to design this problem for you, you'd say, well, I know what I want. I want a 4x and I want a 3, right? Now, 4 times what would be 64? 16 times 4 is 64, isn't it? So the first number you'd write here is a 16. Now you've got 1x, and what you need are 3 x's here, don't you? Huh? So how many more x's do you need? You'd write 4 times 16, and you need a couple of more x's because you got 1, 2, 3. Huh? So you'd write 16x squared. Another thing you could do to get this thing is just to square the 4x. That's another way. That's not the way I think about it, though. I think 4 times 16 is 64. And you have 1x. You need 2 more to make 3. Now, 3 times what will be 27? 3 times what will be 27? 3 times 9 would be 27, isn't it? So this formula just lays itself out, doesn't it? I mean, to get 64, you need 16x squared. To get 27, you need a 9. Now, there's nothing in between. There's no x squares, there's no x's, and all that. So you've got to do something special in here because we don't have any terms in between these two. So if you're going to multiply these together here, look, we've already got an x squared here, right? All right? So the next thing you're going to want to do, if you're memorizing the formula, you keep this sign the same as this sign. Okay? Keep that sign the same as this sign. All we have to do is guess the middle term here. And since we don't have any terms here, we're going to have a plus here. All right? You understand we need the opposite sign here to cancel out some of these terms in here. Let me show you what I mean. You're going to put a plus here, okay? And then you're going to have a combination of these two. Okay, you're going to combine these two right here. You're going to write 4x times 3 will be 12x. Okay? Sum it all up now. Let's go back to basics here. We'll get to the 12x in a minute. I'll explain that again to you. But right now, you're going to write a 4x. You're going to write a 3. You're going to square this one. Another way to get the 9 is to take square the 3, or say 3 times 9 is 27. This sign is the same as this one. This sign's going to change, okay? So the first thing you want to think of is whatever sign this is, which was this, it changes. And the middle term here is a combination of these two. 4 times 3 is 12. So 4x times 3 is 12x. All right? So this is called the difference of two cubes.